The Daily Jacks is a segment that we do on all of the podcast sites, and it has a lot to do with music news or kind of just interpreting what is going on in our hemisphere as indie artists or in the music business. And a lot of that cross cultures with, all of that culture crosses with the social culture, which is on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and stuff. So I talk a lot about that. But I just got this bulletin in my press release said YouTube is officially getting into NFTs, new creator tools coming soon. This is interesting to me because I want to see how they integrate YouTube and the NFTs. You know what I mean? YouTube is getting into NFTs according to a new blog post on the platform's Future for Creator Tools. I was in there earlier actually looking around and I didn't see that one, but I'm going to go back and look. YouTube's Chief Product Officer, Neal Mohan, detailed some of what to expect. He believes new technologies like blockchain and NFTs can allow creators to build deeper relationships with their fans. I completely agree with that. I don't know how deeply NFTs are going to be in the indie music world because really you at this point you kind of have to have a fan to get into the NFTs, and it is a little bit, it's getting more expensive as far as to mint an NFT. It used to be a lot cheaper. Now it's like according to wherever blockchain is right now, and then they've had a lot of fraud, so that's in the news. So you have to kind of be careful. If you don't have a fan base, should you do an NFT? Well, not necessarily, because you really do have to have fans to produce an NFT for. Otherwise, if you just put it up there, it's just not gonna randomly, it's really not going to get anywhere unless you're heavily promoting it. And these days, there's a lot of points of entry, but there's also a lot of barriers for entry, as you well know, if you're an indie artist and you're trying to get exposure out there. NFTs are the same thing. Just having one doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be seen because there's a sea of them at this point. So unless you were really early in or you're specifically marketing to the NFT market, and there's collectors just for NFTs, right? There's people that they have a lot of Bitcoin, they have a lot of this, they have like millions of dollars that they can't really use on anything else, so NFTs are good. NFTs usually have, in music, they're tied to things like, for instance, $250,000 went to Coachella NFTs. Like a couple of them went for lifetime Coachella entry tickets. I hope that comes with like backstage passes or something other than just $250,000 for a Coachella NFT. Well, listen, if you are a collector, then I guess that's totally worth it. And if you have a lot of dollars for NFTs in your wallet, in your blockchain wallet, then I would say that would be one to own. Why not, right? Party it up. All right, the company has clarified how NFT ownership will come up against the copyright laws, which is, can I just say it? It's good and it's bad for so many reasons. But the company has clarified this. The NFTs establish ownership of a digital asset with a public record of each transaction, but it does not transfer copyright from the original owner to the buyer. If you don't know about NFTs, you should Google it, because this is something now that has been along. It has come along far enough that it is worth learning about. And it's basically, when you mint an NFT, it's minted to like a visual, right? That is usually a graphic visual, something that moves, but it tracks ownership and it can be transferred for Bitcoin dollars, or, I don't know, do they call it Bitcoin dollars or internet money currency? And as it transfers, it shows the transfer. So it's basically just showing the originality of it. And that's what's great for copyright and publishing, I guess. And then it kind of can gain money or lose money as it changes from hand to hand. And I think that's really interesting for musicians. It's definitely going to work our way into the future. So learn about it now. Whether you need to do it right now, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, it's up to you, but you should definitely learn about it. So it's unclear how YouTube NFTs will work just yet, even to YouTube execs. The outline, it's unclear to me how it'll work, but the only thing I can think of is it's a way to track ownership. It's a way to track certain things, and it's a way to gain some money too. Now, this is going to depend as well. think I heard in the grapevine at some point that there were ways to cash in on these dollars. But as for, I think right now, I don't think that there's like a nice money tree that you can actually take your money out of. I could be wrong. They could have come up with something. Maybe PayPal is a way, or maybe there are certain banks where they have ATMs where you can actually get cash. I don't know. You'll have to tell me about that part because I haven't kept up with it. But for now, the virtual money and the virtual wallets now have another thing that you can buy, basically. They said, for example, the creators of viral video, Charlie Bit My Finger, that's the name of the viral video, recently sold an NFT of the video for $760,000. There's a lot to consider in making sure we approach these new technologies responsibly. And this also goes along with the recent news that there was a NFT site shut down for fraud. And I know I have read several stories about people getting ripped off, people losing the passcodes to their wallets and literally losing their money. I mean, there have been a lot of fraudulent things going on because it is kind of the Wild West. And that area of the NFTs, the blockchain, it's great in one way, and yeah, it's trackable, but it is like the people that are transferring the money into currency. There's a lot of fraud going on because there's a lot of sites, and I don't think that it's all really being watched by anybody. You know what I mean? And a lot of times these currency exchanges pop up that we don't even know who owns them. You know what I mean? So you don't really know I don't know the owners of the currency sites. And I think you know what I'm saying, right? Like when you want to get some currency, you literally have to take your dollars and transfer it, or somebody has to give you some dollars. So that initial processing of the cash for the Bitcoin currency, who collects that? Like, where does that go? I don't even know. And I don't think a lot of people know when they do it. And there's several sites, because there's several wallets that will allow you to sign up and transfer your real dollars into, the Bitcoin currency. So that's where it gets a little bit, suspect for me. But anyway, I wanted to bring this up. Let me know what you guys think. That's one of our daily jacks for this week. And let's go back to listening to some more music, shall we?